Hey, we're recording.
Damn it. Hello and welcome to the Carbitrage podcast, episode 116. I'm Erik Berger, and the voice you just heard before that was my co-host, Ryan Sinitsky. Hello.
Yep, 100% fully in effect with having a cold.
Yep. You're a little less Ben Steiny than we were last episode. But
I get like about 3 hours a day when I have a cold where I'm actually tolerable, and it's about like 2 p.m. till like 5 p.m.
we're not quite there, so
Yeah.
maybe like the second half of this episode, people will
Yeah,
be the tolerable
I'll be like
version of
totally
you.
normal. Yeah, and then I'm going to go right back into hell.
So I'm going to go ahead and, on our notes right here, gray this out because we do not have our guest yet.
Yep.
And I
He
want to
might-
quickly...
He might be in tomorrow, possibly. We'll have to figure something out.
I should have some time tomorrow, so
Yeah,
if
we-
we
we
need to
can
record,
figure
we
it
can
out.
do another one. I want to plug Patreon before we get into topics. That's
Yes.
something we've been doing, so I'm going to keep right on doing it. So, if you head on over to patreon.com/carbitrage, you will get to a website that basically lets consumers of content, i.e. you, pay directly or support directly producers of content like us, Ryan and I. And we have one of these fancy little site things. It's got a couple of different options for recurring monthly payments. One of them is $1.50, which basically just covers a beer for an episode. And then we have an option for $5, which covers more beer, basically. I'm
Yes.
not going to delude myself and say that it covers any of the hosting or the equipment because we
It
drink
gets
a lot of beer.
gets closer.
It gets closer. So everything you're willing to contribute, we absolutely appreciate. You also do get added to our Discord if you apply for the second tier. So you can give us content ideas and requests directly. So that's something to think about. If you don't do it, that's just fine. We'll keep right on doing the podcast. Other than that, let's get into stories.
Yes.
You've
So,
got the first one today.
I do. On Wednesday, I was talking to Josh and Anna about the truck. We were at the Stinky Nuggets meet. And,
With the blown TH400.
Yep, that's how I found out it was blown. We
Oops,
were,
all neutrals.
Yep. Neutral.
It's like a 4L60. Sorry, a 3L60.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So they anyway, so we were talking about their truck, and I saw these dudes came by with like the cleanest like C1500 I've ever seen.
So a Chevy pickup. from
Yeah,
the
like
early
a
1990s.
mid 90s Chevy pickup.
Okay.
Red step side, like three guys that like obviously had just got off like the work zone, like working on like construction workers.
Oh,
essentially.
sure. Like parked
With-
on the side of the highway idling all day kind of guy?
Yeah, like
Okay.
but this truck was like flawless though. And so it has step side on it. I said, why doesn't anybody just make step sides for modern trucks? Because they look cool as hell.
Well, they do look cool as hell, but like I would imagine that the aftermarket doesn't have the facilities or the presses to press panels like that out.
I would be surprised by that because they already make like.
It's extremely tough to stamp out like a 12-inch extrusion metal piece.
I guess that's a good point. Either way, I think a step side would be a great idea because like that way you can just like for all these guys with these like mall cruisers and stuff like they
Yeah,
can
the
just
Brodozers.
they can just admit that they don't use your truck for anything.
I've never seen a step side heavy duty, but that would be great.
Yeah, like a Ram like 2500 Cummins with a step side.
I got this. Can we also make an option for a built-in hot tub when they do the
Perfect.
step side?
Yeah, that way when they go to the mall and go try to pick up girls from Hot Topic and get arrested for it, like they can just like have their hot tub right there.
Oh man, jailbait.
Yeah, gross.
Oof.
Yeah, that's.
But I agree. Yeah.
But I mean, like-
don't know what happened to step side beds.
Like
I haven't seen them in a modern truck ever.
Like they are objectively worse, but I mean, like when was the last time you saw any sort of F-150 being used to haul anything
Do you
other
remember
than a
the
single bag of
second,
mulch?
I think it was the second gen Tundra that came with the step
Yeah,
side.
and it looked awful.
What a rare vehicle. Yeah,
Yeah.
the taillights were really
They were
awful.
really bad. But yeah, that
But
was
like
really rare.
we were talking about the Lightning last episode. That was a step side.
Yeah, it was.
That was a good
Yeah.
step side generation.
Yeah, it was a great.
Like
step
if that
side.
was a regular bed pickup, that would
No,
have
that
been
would suck.
really
Would've
terrible.
totally sucked.
So
No, but that was a step side. I like these should totally come back. Cause like really seriously, like how often has anybody ever used their truck for doing more than hauling
Never.
a lawnmower or a solitary bag
I
of
haul
mulch?
more stuff in the hatch of my Model S than 95% of pickups ever haul.
Well, I said that, and a bunch of people like just were shocked, like gasped. I'm like, what? Have you ever actually used the full capacity of the bed on your truck?
Nobody has.
And they're all like, oh. I'm like, yeah, no, you have the ability to, but you never have. I've got the ability to climb Mount Everest. You don't see me about to do that. I'm not gonna.
Do you actually though?
I don't know, maybe, but it's just that thing. Like when we have a mall cruiser, like, are you really gonna load up your 24-inch rubber band tire wheels?
Are you really gonna load up your
full
new
bed?
washer and dryer? No, you're gonna pay them an extra $150
'Cause you
and
don't wanna
have
carry
them
it.
bring it in their Ford Transit.
Yeah, you've got a perfectly capable vehicle, but you as a human being are not capable.
Right.
Because you're too busy.
The lowest common denominator is not the truck; it's the
It's
owner.
the
of the
owner
truck.
of the truck.
Yeah.
You're not capable of doing things. So yeah,
God, we're
just
brutal.
just get yourself a step side. Be happy with it. I want a step side. Anyway, that's my top tip of the day. Is you should probably just buy a step side. It's better because
Well, I didn't buy a step side.
yeah. What did you buy?
I bought a Fiat 124 Spider finally. Again.
Again,
'Cause I bought one this spring, but then the dealership pulled out, which you should never pull out.
I pull out, but anyway.
Me too.
So you bought a Fiat 124.
So the first one, let me take a step back to the springtime. When I bought this car, I bought a gray base model Classica with 78,000 miles on it for $12,500. I'm like, great deal, out of warranty, no options, no trim, no nothing, no heated seats, no limited slip diff, but it was cheap.
Yeah.
They pulled out.
Okay, that's their problem.
Bought my Model S, happy with it. I went and test drove in a Barth like a month ago. Oops. Really great car, so I really needed one. I started perusing all of the usual suspects, so I was on eBay, Craigslist with Search Tempest, I was on Car Gurus, I
You're
was on
everywhere.
Auto Trader,
Yeah.
and I actually found this car that I ended up buying about a month ago, but he was asking $18,900 for it, and it was a 2017 Lusso. So there's
That's
three.
the generation you want.
It's
Or
the trim level.
the trim
I
level.
want.
I'm sorry, the trim level.
Exactly,
you want,
it is. So the first car I agreed to buy and wasn't able to buy was a Classica, which is the base model. So no heated seats, cloth seats, no tech, no nothing, tiny wheels. Then there's the Abarth, which is the same price point as the Lusso, but it's more performance geared. So it's got like the really shouty looking exterior. It's got the quad exit exhaust. It's got 4 more horsepower. It's got,
Ooh.
yeah, right. It's got giant Abarth badges all over it. And then there's the Lusso, and the Lusso is the actual one that, I mean, you know, I've been talking about this
Yeah,
forever.
it's the same thing, but like sans
It's the
4
grown-up
horsepower.
one, so it's
Yeah.
got like leather seats and all the tech, but it's got like big but like grown-up looking wheels and things like that. But it's got regular Fiat badges on it, which I like. So I ended up finding this Lusso, and I emailed him twice. First time he said no to my offer, and then a month later I reached out to him again. I'm like, let's just try this. It's a really nice car. It's exactly what I want. And he said sure. So I ended up picking this car up. It has 5,000 miles on it. It's a
That's really low
2017.
mile.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's in New York, so I mean it's probably done a bunch of stop and go. But anyway, it's a 2017 white on black Lusso, 5,000 miles, 18 grand.
5,000 miles and 30,000 miles of engine idling.
Yeah, probably, but I don't care. That engine is bomb-proof. I
Yeah.
mean, it's been so well tested in the Fiat 500s since 2011, 2012 that it just doesn't matter.
I'm curious which ones would be more reliable, the 124 or the Miata.
I don't know. The Miata's DI, so I'm guessing the Fiat 124 will be because
Yeah.
it's port injected. And it's iron block and just like
a
old
great engine,
technology.
yeah.
It's a really good engine, so it's maintenance optional. So I'm going to hopefully go pick that up in a week or two, and I'll tell you guys all about it. But I'm flying out to New York. I
That's
think
exciting. I'm
JFK,
happy
and-
for you.
Thank you.
So, speaking of vehicles with direct injection,
I was really wondering how you were going to segue on this one.
the new Volkswagen Beetle is finally out of production. Thank God.
Third gen Beetle. Woo!
Yeah. So,
Technically.
well, the thing is, like, so Volkswagen's like doing this whole hype train about it. Like, oh, we just killed the Beetle. Finally, it's dead after all these years of production. It's like, no.
It's been out of production several times.
It's been out of production several times. This is the third generation, and the third generation and the second generation were not the real Beetle. They were specifically called the new Beetle, which
Right.
is,
And then there was the old new Beetle and the new Beetle.
yeah. And nobody wanted either one of those. So, like, anyway, they've been doing this whole hype train, and, like, all of the coverage on, like, literally on NPR.
Yeah.
Like, it's, like, gotten, like, that
Hey,
level of hype train.
I was on there once.
Yeah, you were. But, like, NPR is not car news. Even they were, like, having coverage about it. And everything's about how great the air-cooled Beetle was. And then at the very end, they have a footnote go, yeah, and then, you know, like, 1998, they made a new Beetle, and it was good. And then that's just, like, it's like a footnote.
They put a TDI in it, so it was good.
However, I will say, I'm going to be the first person to say anything actually really good about the new Beetle. The third generation, the new Beetle, when you get one of those with the Turbo R, like, you get all of the stuff from a Golf R in a Beetle, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is true, actually. It's almost like buying an A3 instead of an R32 back in the day. I mean, you could get a 5-door R32 from Audi.
Or yeah. I mean, it's just like, it's one of those things where it's like such a dumb little car, but it's actually kind of cool. Anyway, I still don't recommend buying it because it's still, at the end of the day, Volkswagen direct injection, and it will not end well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're gonna make the ID buzz and find a way to make that unreliable.
Scott's on the waiting list for that, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm really excited for how. I'm really curious how they're gonna make that not work.
Sorry, I was a little bit distracted. I was actually on NPR's site because I remembered I didn't actually save a copy of the interview that I did.
Oh my god.
Locally, so I was gonna try to do that, but I won't. Yeah, no, I really want the ID Buzz, but I like, why are they making such a fanfare of the car that nobody cared about, and then continued to not care about when they made the new one, and then they don't care about it going away, basically.
The new Beetle was really, really cool in the 90s.
Yeah, like in '98, I was like, slug bug.
Well, the other thing that was cool about it was, like, when they originally designed it, they designed it to be on the smaller Polo chassis, which would make sense.
Really? That would have been super cool.
Yeah, and then, like, the
Polos
11th
were
hour...
good.
At the 11th hour, they realized that they have to federalize the Polo for America. And then they just...
Probably all the powertrains, too.
Yeah, and so they're like, oh, shit, we're just going to make this off the Golf chassis. And then, like, I think honestly, it was like 1996. They decided. It was literally that late in production.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, let's just kind of vaguely put this on the Mark IV Golf chassis instead.
Yeah, and so they used the Mark IV Golf chassis, made everything else a little bit bigger, and that's why you have that awkward dashboard and that awkwardly tall height.
And nothing fits.
Yeah, nothing fits. It's
nothing fits.
But, like, if that car was, on a 4/5 scale, yeah.
That's one of the few cars I see out in the world now, and it makes me prompt with this one question that only in traffic do I ever think of this, but, like, what is the car that you could buy brand new in, like, 1997 to 9 that looks the most modern, has aged the least today? That's actually a decent question. I never think to actually put it in the podcast, but...
So the most modern looking
like
late
97
90s
to
car.
99. Let's just pick a car that basically came out in one of those years. What would you buy back then that is still, like, perfectly normal and, like, cool to drive today? Like, there are still people that bought these new and are still using them today.
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. What's
Because there's a lot of stuff that came out around that time, and, like, I look at the Beetle, I'm like, that's actually a pretty modern looking vehicle for, like, you could buy them in 97.
Yeah.
And there's, like, the Audi TT, even the first gen TT.
Let's say the first gen TT immediately comes to mind.
The BMW E46.
Yeah, the E46.
Like, you could get a 328
Well, you want
Sport.
something that's not too iconic of that era.
Right, and that's why the Beetle's great. Because it is iconic, but they didn't sell that many, so you don't see them all the time.
Not only that, like, it's iconic in the same way that the old Beetle is iconic, where it's like, it just, like... whereas
Pipe
iconic...
down there, Brian.
But, like, throughout its entire generation, you can't... Like,
But, like,
unless you're a nerd, you're not going to know the difference between a 98 and a 2006 Beetle.
I think a lot of the BMW stuff from that era, before the Bengal era, was just super timeless. So, like, the 5 Series, the X5 even, the 7 Series. But I'm trying to think of, like, a really good answer. And honestly, the TT was one of the best things I could come up with, because it still looks like a really modern car, even though, like, you could get the 225 version in 2000. So,
What's
like,
the Lexus LX 430 in existence then?
LX?
Yeah.
470.
470, that's what I was thinking.
No. They did make a Lexus LX, but I think... Oh, actually, you were right. I think they might have. It went from 450 to 470 in some year, and I don't remember.
Yeah, so it was the first year that was 1995.
Really? The 470?
Well, of the 4 Series.
Okay. I was going to say that it was a 450 for a while, but that was a good engine. That was a big 4.5-liter twin cam straight 6.
Yeah, but it didn't get really modern looking until...
that was 2003, I think, when it really got the modern facelift.
No, it was actually in this era, but like the facelift, they facelifted in 98, and that lasted till 07.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then after that, but
That's a pretty good answer.
There's another one that I was thinking of. It wasn't the LX.
It's too bad the G-Class
It
came
must
out
have
in
been the
02.
GX. The Lexus GX, I think might be the one I was thinking of.
The 4Runner-based one? I think that was later. I think that was 02 or 03.
Man, I'm looking right now.
I'm trying to think of like other manufacturers though. Like what was like a really new model in like Germany in 2000?
the MR2.
Oh yeah, third gen MR2
Yeah,
would have been
the
a really good one.
ZZW20.
ZZW30.
Or yeah, 30, and then the I will also
Celica along with that.
as I say the Celica as well.
That's
I
a
would
good
also,
answer. Yeah, if you bought one of those in 1999,
Like it looks totally new today.
huh? That's a good answer.
Yeah, actually, the first generation Lexus GX.
Yeah, 2002.
Well, yeah, so it's 2002, 2009. It's a little bit after this.
Yeah,
like,
but
that's
if
a
we're
car
going to 2002, then say Mercedes G-Class, because like that is still like literally a brand new vehicle.
Well, the G Class also is from the 70s. So
Yeah, I know, but that was the first year of the W463,
that's true.
and that literally just ended last year.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, like most of the parts are interchangeable. Though.
Yeah, I know. But it had like the really solid
I think for
drivetrains.
like a really like you could take it to a parking lot and have some random
Assume we were
person.
cutting off in 99.
Yeah, assume you're kind of in 99. You had some random person point at a car and say, "What year is that car?" And they are off by 15 years. Yeah, I would say the ZZW30 MR2 I'd really put up there.
I'm voting Audi TT first gen.
And I would say the ZZW30, specifically not the green on tan,
Oh yeah.
because that is just screams 90s.
Yeah, no, you got to get either silver or
Black.
red, probably.
Black.
Is also okay.
Yeah.
The colors I've had, but yeah. And then, really like the facelift one that happened in 02 with the better headlights and taillights, but like it's the same car.
This is the same thing. You
Same
can't
car.
really tell.
Really, really
But yeah,
good
and
car.
then the Audi TT is another one where
That
you really
thing,
can't
like,
tell.
Like it was the 1.8T. It was the high output 1.8T. It had like a really nice interior. It had like some of the first instances of the new Audi like design language that came about in like the mid 2000s.
That became like the B5s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
that-
like, well, B6s. It was more similar to the B6.
Oh yeah, sorry,
'cause
B6.
B5.
That's what I was thinking. The B5 had already come out.
Right. So I don't like that car particularly, but if you bought a 1.8T 225 horse and you got like the baseball stitch seats and the 6-speed, honestly, it's one of the better Audis you could ever buy.
Yes, and if you get that with a 1.8T, you can also get. I've got a customer at work. He's got getting close to 300,000 miles on his.
Yep.
We did the transmission, the drivetrain, but that was it.
The
engine
6-speed trans
itself
is super
like-
solid. The
yeah.
1.8T is super solid.
The only reason we ended up doing the transmission is the previous owner had put in the wrong gear lube.
That'll
Mm.
happen.
Yeah, that was the only thing. Because it ran too thin of a gear lube on it. 75W90s.
They probably put ATF in it or something.
Yeah, something like that. But like,
It's German. It probably needs ATF.
no, it's just and when we replaced it, didn't need to immediately, but the customer elected to do it, and because
Sure.
it had a little bit of a click going into fourth gear, like it was a little bit notchy in the fourth, and it bothered him. But like, if you get a car, an Audi that's got 300,000 miles, and your biggest issue is a slightly notchy fourth gear,
That's one of the only
by
cars I could think of
far-
that would happen.
Yeah, that's a really amazing car.
But like galvanized bodies, quattro, like it's a Haldex system. But like again, that was one of the first instances that like the R32 Mark IV was based on. And
Yeah.
That was 4 years later.
Actually, another one that I would probably recommend. I'm not 100% on board with this. I'm honestly really wishy-washy
I can tell.
even thinking about it. But I'm kind of thinking the third facelift of the 3000 GT.
That doesn't look modern.
Okay, that's fair. As I said, I was like really wishy-washy
Want to
about
hear
that.
my really weird answer that I thought about?
Huh.
The GMT, what is it, 800 Tahoe?
Yeah. Yeah,
That came out in 99.
that's true.
You still see them everywhere.
Literally
Literally
everywhere.
everywhere. So there's that. But anyway, I'm voting TT. There you go.
Yeah, I'm
ZZW30 is a great answer.
I'm going with ZZW30. There you go.
Fair enough.
The more you know.
Let's okay. So talk about things that have aged really well. I want to talk about things that have aged really poorly, and that is Donald Trump.
Okay.
He is repealing or at least pausing the cafe fuel economy standards that was put in place by the Obama administration.
This is stupid. So it's obviously going to get that's obviously going to get turned around the second
Like,
he's out
dude,
of office. Like it's
like,
not going to make any effect.
These were like barely adequate when they were squeezed through like 10 years ago or whatever the hell this was, and now you're pausing them. Like, what?
Just you know what auto manufacturers should just do whatever Europe says.
Pretty much. How
'Cause,
about we
like,
just base it on European standards, where like the rest of civilized
We
humanity
can't
lives?
seem to get our shit together. Japan and every country in Asia is completely different from each other. Europe is going to be the largest solitary market that is more or less the same fuel efficiency standards. Just base it off of that.
And we just got to the point where like crash standards and lighting standards became compatible from the rest of the world in
Yeah.
the U.S. Like, why take 2 steps back?
Well, no, I mean it's not even that. It's
Buy a
whoever,
Tesla.
whatever brand
Yeah.
builds a car just for our market using our 2 steps back fuel efficiency.
Yeah, they're
that-
screwed.
no, that's stupidity on their part. Like that is somebody looking at the universe in a bubble. Like these things don't happen like in a bubble. Like obviously this is gonna go right back to the Obama era right after this. Like
Right.
2021 is be totally the Obama era again.
Can you imagine if he gets reelected?
He won't be.
I know,
would be
but,
shocked.
like,
well,
whoa.
actually, there's a chance because
Because there's a lot of complacent people, but I think enough people are pissed off, or hopefully that doesn't happen.
No, I
yet.
was just saying the Democratic Party is just they've got their heads so far up at their ass they can't figure out how to do
I know,
anything.
they're both so fucked.
But I mean, at least one's
But,
not objectively bad for
Like,
me.
why do this? Why not change the 25-year rule to a 15-year rule instead? Like, use your really terrible, spurgy Republican brain for good.
Yeah.
Like, let me have an Avon time now, and that's it.
No, it's not going to help anybody.
Let me have collector cars.
Whatever is bad for everyone is what he does.
I know. I think he just does it to see what he can get away with. So
I really
anyway,
think so, yeah.
I really actually don't want to talk about this at great length, but
So
I
anyway,
wanted to bring it
what I
up.
want to talk about though.
Yeah, thank you.
I also want to talk about new cars. I want to talk about Jack Beruth. He's
That
this-
name is very familiar to me.
He does a lot of writing online. So he did stuff for Road and Track.
Oh,
I'm not sure if he still
Haggerty,
does,
that's why.
But he does this for Haggerty now. But he was talking about like how auto manufacturers seem to have started just to hate young people.
God, that's
It's
really, really pointed, but not wrong.
The TLDR of this is that like it's not that young people don't buy cars because they don't want to. It's because that they don't make anything that we want that we can afford. When there's used stuff available, that's better.
Right.
So, what he said was a slight variation on what we've been saying here since like episode 1, where I'm gonna actually quote him word for word. Make a $9,999 front-wheel drive mini pickup truck. Equip it like a 1984 Toyota half-ton, which is to say vinyl seats and a single-layer bed. No frills whatsoever. Give them something aspirational but affordable. Cheap and cheerful, basic but usable, bright colors, big stripes, fun names. That will sell. Totally. With manual transmission.
Front-wheel drive.
Just to make it easier for the parents to want to buy it for their kid. That's just a,
I
it's a
disagree.
It's a slight variation of what we've said, though.
Mini trucks cannot be front-wheel drive.
It's like I said, it's a slight variation. But if you just like pausing for a second, looking at not us but normal parents,
They're horrible people.
I know they are. I get that.
Okay.
But trying to sell a car that will get past them.
No, I do get that. 'cause
Basically what he's
they
saying
are
is-
specification buyers.
So yeah. So basically, make a Volkswagen Rabbit pickup truck with safety equipment.
Okay, yeah, a caddy
That's what
with
he
some
said.
safety would be
That's
cool.
what he said.
Fine,
That's a
fine.
front wheel drive mini truck. Like that'd be perfect because then the kids will want to like put their like kayaks or whatever, their skateboards or giant e-cigs into the bed and like drive out to the park or to the vape shop or whatever they're into. You have
Oh,
big beds, you can
man.
fit all your magic cards in there. It's perfect. So like, honestly, he's really, really accurate with how he.
I
how he
love
said
this
that.
Jeep CJ ad that's in the article.
Yeah, because it's like
Introducing a feisty new 4-cylinder engine and powertrain that delivers an EPA estimated MPG of, clearly it was like crossed out and like put back in as 21,
21.
and a highway estimate of 25 asterisk.
yeah, I know, right?
But like it's, man, for the 70s that was probably pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean, if you scroll down, what basically he talks about is like when car manufacturers try to appeal to kids, they're not gonna like try and like pump the car full of tech because honestly, no kid wants that. Nobody
Wow,
cares
that's
about
a
that.
lot of text.
Well, now you're reading comments,
I know, but there was no other pictures in the ad or
Yeah, that's
the
true.
article.
but he
I'm still sticking with the CJ.
but yeah, so he was talking about how like yeah, it used to be that like you just make something that's fun. Now they're like trying to pump it full of tech, which is not gonna sell because tech makes shit expensive. We can't
Yeah.
afford that. Like
Crank
honestly,
windows,
Yeah.
an aux port, and that's it.
like if you took a Mitsubishi Mirage and made it easier to look at.
If you just put a bed on it.
Yeah, like a Mitsubishi Mirage, and then you make a stripper model with a manual transmission option, and you give it, vinyl seats,
Yeah.
an aux
Or
cord.
even cloth. I prefer
Like,
cloth to vinyl.
get rid of the FM transmitter and the radio, and we're literally just an aux cable with like Bluetooth maybe.
What about my giant iPad?
Yeah, Bluetooth and aux only would probably be fine.
Yeah, that'd be
Nobody
fine.
cares about your giant iPad.
Nobody cares
Corey.
about you, Corey. I'm
Hi-
sorry.
Hi, Corey.
Hi, Corey. You're here. Anyway,
But no, I would like to see that. I don't see that happening in our country. I mean, it sells everywhere else.
it happens everywhere except for here.
I know.
It's because of the same people that go, oh, look at that. They they lowered the emissions requirements. Better make a shittier car. Like, no, it's the same people. Like Mary Barra. Like, she can go rot in hell.
Why are all the good car people becoming bad car people?
Well, it's because that's just who they are. Like,
No, I think it's because they're at the beck and call of the shareholder, and people by and large are retarded.
yeah, that's fair. But it's like, well, you have a world full of Bob Lutzes and not enough Lee Iacocas.
Oh, we got a badass out there.
And not enough Lee Iacocas.
Oh, rip in peace.
Yeah, like, we need more people that are like Akio Toyota, Lee Iacocca in America. Going way back, Soichiro Honda, where they honestly understand what a young person wants.
Or in a modern time, Duncan Pittoway.
Yes, but he's not an executive.
No,
but yes.
but he should be.
But yeah, Duncan Pittoway is a badass.
Oh man, did you watch? I assume you watched the final coverage of the Goodwood.
Yes, it did. Yes,
I don't want to say Festival of Speed or Revival. I think it's Festival of Speed, the first one.
yes, it is.
That's the one we just
Festival
did.
of Speed. Yep.
So I was watching. I came down to the Motorplex here last week, and I just turned on the TV down there and wanted some white noise. And the first thing in my recommendations was an hour and 10-minute long clip of just the speed timed runs.
Yes.
And I think the third from the end
Was Duncan
run
Pittoway
was Duncan Pittoway in that S76.
the beast of Turin with
Fiat-
the 30-liter or whatever?
Yeah, the
four-cylinder?
28-liter.
I'm gonna double tap this because Berger actually noted something pre-war, not me.
I did. This guy has balls the size of most toddlers.
Yes.
Because not only did he put down like a really good time, not as good as the Bugatti Type 35.
Yes. But that's also a Type 35.
That
is
dude
entirely
also has
equivalent to-
toddler balls because he was like the third fastest time of
We
the
should
day.
also note that the Type 35 is like entirely equivalent to like a Mazda Miata today in like performance.
Yeah,
Like,
and like
that's a very, very like.
anytime
modern
you're hanging
vehicle.
ass out on like a 100-year-old car, 90-year-old car,
Yeah.
His time was holding against like one or two of the 70s Formula One.
he was
cars.
Yeah.
almost podiuming in a Type 35.
That's perfect.
On like period tires. But anyway, Duncan Pittoway, I am replacing officially here on out as my benevolent overlord. Bob Lutz, you're gone. You've made bad decisions
He's
now.
always made them. I told you from the start.
Duncan Pittoway, though, with the toddler balls, this man
He can do no
not
wrong.
only does a fast run at Goodwood, but he drives his car from his home, which is like 170 miles
Yeah,
away.
he proves it's reliable.
He has
and
to
then
stop
wins.
13 times for fuel.
That's hilarious.
Each way, and in Britain too, where gas is still, it's cheap right now, but it's $7 a gallon.
Yeah, and refill 7 or 13 times.
Yeah, and
Like
it's a
26
big
times.
tank still too.
Yeah,
And then and this is a one of two vehicle.
yeah.
Like who?
It's insane.
Oh.
It's the man.
Yeah.
He's an absolute madman.
Did you hear
Yeah.
the story about where it came from?
Yeah, you got
was
it
in
from
some
Australia.
barn or something.
Yeah, it went from Europe, and some Russian prince bought it, shipped it to Australia, where it sat as like a planter for many years.
Wait, like when the Romanovs bought it?
I don't know who.
It was. You said prince, not oligarch. So,
Yeah,
so it'd be a Romanov.
I
Semantics.
guess.
Okay.
I don't know Russia's history at all. So.
But yeah, I mean, then they were talking about like him restoring it and then repainting it. They're like, oh, I think he's going to repaint it every time he runs up the hill with the exhaust ports on the left side.
Does cook all the paint off.
It
yeah.
does cook all the paint. Like it is just, it's quite.
It shoots flames.
Yeah,
Literally the
it
entire
does.
Time.
Yep. I mean, the
Yeah.
engine's rotating at like 200 RPM, but it is. This Zeppelin engine was not necessarily designed for hill climbing.
You know, I don't think that was the sort of car that you would sell to teenagers in 1920.
Probably not, but it would have been cool though.
Yeah, but that's definitely the Bugatti poster car.
Oh, yeah.
Or the Countach poster car for like the greatest generation.
Just the sheer height of that thing.
It's hilarious. Or actually, not the greatest generation, for the Edwardian generation, the generation before greatest.
I'm gonna bring up a picture of Pittoway's S76.
Yeah, no, I love that car.
That thing, what was it, like 28 and a half liters?
Yeah, it's
or
like
something
yeah,
like
it's
that?
a 28
basically yeah, it's a
liters F1
28
engine,
liter. Yeah.
Got images.
It's a 28 liter.
Oh, the Beast of Turin.
This is the car that really like piqued my interest in pre-war stuff, like a lot more than before.
This is
It
the
has-
only pre-war car I care about.
It has 3 spark plugs per cylinder, apparently.
Yes, and
It probably needs it to ignite that amount of fuel per stroke.
right there, the
Nuts.
Almy one, right?
This one?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
decent sized. Or is that the one that we just looked at?
No, I looked at the different one. It was like a photo bucket, crappy piece of crap.
It was Boris Sakhanov.
Okay, so that's definitely just a. There we go. That's
Oh,
actually-
beautiful. I don't even care about the watermark. So yeah, this is probably like built on a fire truck. You can see the fresh paint that is ruined.
Yes, absolutely ruined. That's a wonderful car. I love that.
Can you imagine like trying to like, okay, come up to a red light, there's a car in front of you, you're in this, like trying to get close to that car without hitting it over that hood? Like really? No.
Also, do you see the brakes?
What brakes? I mean the ones
The-
on the rear, kinda?
The rear drums?
Yeah,
yeah.
but look how heavy that thing probably is. I bet that's like a 3,000-pound car.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
the
you
rear
can tell that
drums,
like the base of that belly, it's probably fuel honestly, but like I guarantee the oil pan goes down like almost to the bottom, and the valve cover probably is all the way at the top.
Do you know how salty I am that this car's never been in Forza?
No, Ryan, and I don't want to
They
know.
have pre-war cars now.
I know they do. They've got like 2 of my favorites: a Bentley 4.5 liter and a Bugatti Type 35C. They have the weak one. It's stupid.
See,
Apparently
yeah.
it was crashed in a race in Australia in 1920.
This was
Yep.
the 76.
Yep. And then it went back to Europe in the 80s. Where
So it stood
sat,
60. It was let stand 60 years in Australia as a
Yeah.
planter
pretty much.
before it was brought back to Britain,
And then some guy bought it, did nothing with it, and then Duncan Pittoway got it.
and now it's
fixed it
his
up.
daily.
Yeah, I would daily the shit out
Hashtag
of
daily
that.
driven. I bet it's got that on the back.
How many dollars per mile does that do?
We should actually try to do the math, because I think they've actually said like how big the tank is on separate occasions, and said how many times it took him to fill up to go a given distance. So I bet we could calculate how many miles,
How
or
many
sorry, how
gallons
many
per-
pounds per mile
Yeah.
that costs. I guarantee it's gallons per mile.
Oh, totally gallons per mile.
Gallons per mile for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
that is that is not an efficient thing, but this seeing at it straight front, you know, you've got that like steampunk brass radiator
Oh,
shroud.
it's amazing. Yeah.
It just looks like it looks like BioShock in car form or something.
I've
That's
never,
like-
so of all my non-car friends, I've never shown any of them Duncan Pittoway's car without having them get excited for it. I say it is a 30-liter 4-cylinder.
28.
Yeah, but I round up because you know me. Like it's basically a 30-liter 4-cylinder. They go, okay. I'm like, your car has a 2-liter,
Yeah.
maybe.
Each cylinder of that vehicle is 7.5
You can
liters.
sit
It is
inside
a
of
big
it.
block Chevy per cylinder.
Yeah, it's insane. And it's a 4-cylinder.
And when you, the beauty of this recap thing I watched on the YouTubes, that hour and 10-minute thing, was it was very little announcer,
it was just car.
all car audio. So this
Perfect.
was like
Oh, it makes the worst noise.
it's spinning at like on RPM,
It
and
is-
it's still just shoveling this thing up a hill.
It's got a.
But you think
I
of like the piston velocity and the forces on those pistons. I mean, I
It's
guarantee
insane.
that's got steel pistons in it. There's no way those are aluminum.
No, totally. Well, not only that, also I think it's like Redline is like 960 RPM.
I bet it's not even that much.
I mean, like absolute, like this is topped out.
I
It's
bet it would
960.
cast rod through the block before it hits that kind of RPM.
But
But just like thinking about the gear ratios you need to translate sub 1,000 RPM into 126 miles an hour,
yeah,
which
think
is what
he's-
this car did at one point.
I think he said on the highway in like third, it does 110 at like 200 RPM or something like
so
that.
you can just keep going from there.
Like you literally you listen to this YouTube clip of this car going up the hill and you picture 1920s skies.
Yeah,
And it's the sound of Zeppelins.
Well, it maxes out every microphone. Because
That's moving a lot of air, or a lot of gas.
There was like one video I heard of that car where they filmed it coming up the road, and it was like 3 blocks away. You could actually hear what it really sounds like. But anything within like 2 blocks of where the car physically is, it's maxed out. Like, you just cannot pick up the audio.
Those 2 exhaust ports seem vastly undersized for the amount of displacement that they're dealing with.
Yes, they are. This is definitely something. I would love to see this car with modern technology.
I want to see that with an exhaust system and one of those like flared out, super narrow tips, like it's on all the old.
On the old, not Bugattis. Those are old Bentleys.
They're
that do
old
that.
like French cars have them too,
Does
but
he get pulled over for not having mufflers?
or like license plates.
I'm sorry, I can't hear
lights.
you. No, he does have a license plate that he puts on that.
Yeah, he vinyls it on the back.
Yeah, he has a vinyl license plate that goes in the back, so you can actually I would love to see the MOT registration form.
That thing is MOT'd.
Yeah, he MOT'd
It has to
that.
be.
He literally MOT'd that car.
It doesn't have headlights. How the hell could you pass that?
I think you probably stick some headlights on.
I want to see the MOT report for Duncan Pittoway's Fiat S76 now.
when you catch me.
Yeah, it'd be the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen in your
My
life.
motor car.
And my Automo car.
In my horseless
Who
carriage.
would ever pull this man over? I mean, the belly pan, it's not for fuel. It's for his balls.
Yeah, no, that's true.
It's just to store his testicles while he goes up the hill.
God.
I feel like if there's somebody that tried to pull him over, they'd like
If this
walk up
isn't
next
the-
to you, just turn it on and like blow him across the street.
If this isn't the thumbnail for this episode, I'm going to be really sad.
Yeah, it
Imagine
should
you're,
be.
you're sitting in the left lane. Well, this is gonna be hard. Driving slowly in the left passing
The
lane.
left lane is where you should be in Britain.
All right.
right lane.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no,
sorry.
The
you're in the
passing
fast lane going slow.
And that comes up
and
behind you.
that's the car that tailgates you while you're going slow. Yeah, there's nary a person.
You would see like the bottom half of the radiator grill.
there's nary a person with a caravan that didn't shit themselves that day.
Audi following distance.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which it says you're taking it on faith with that because you can't see the car in front of you.
but yeah, no, I think Duncan Pittoway, he is
he's my new
he
benevolent
is
overlord.
a accurate description of everything that Carbitrage stands for.
That's not true, but he is my new benevolent
well,
overlord because
somebody
that's
that-
badass.
That enjoys their car regardless of what the price point is and builds their car to be used and not used as like just a way to make some money. It is something that they actually get because they love
That's
it.
true.
It's
That
for
thing
the
is
love
just
of the car.
hemorrhaging him money.
Yeah, that car, like, I'm sure that he will be right side up when he's done with that car.
Yeah.
But like, that's just one of those cars where, if I had unlimited money, I would do something like that. And that guy, it's totally the Carbitrage ethos of you love the car, and that's why you do this.
Why do you love that? Well, because fuck you. That's why.
Because it's awesome. That's why I like it. Because it brings me joy. Like, that's how you drive a car. Because a car is supposed to bring you joy.
Pencil sketch. Corey found like a blogspot article on the S76 rebuild.
1,700 cubic inches. Does that sound right?
Computer, how many liters is 1,700 cubic inches?
1,700 cubic inches is about 27.9 liters.
Yep, that's accurate.
28 liters.
Yeah,
Yep.
28 liters. Yep, right there. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Corey.
That
Thank you,
worked,
computer.
that worked really
That's
well.
a big number.
That is a big number. Yes. That's a massive, just a ludicrous engine. But anyway, maybe just going back for like 1 second to
Sure, fine.
Cars that teenagers would want.
Right there. Perfect.
Yes. But
Just those dishes everywhere.
so
Why is me son dead?
Can you imagine trying a teen to pay for fuel on a vehicle like that?
or insurance or tabs.
You need
because
Lloyd's
most
of
co-
London coverage.
So 1 second. This is another good question. In London, you have your fuelage tax. In most of Europe, you have a tax based off displacement.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So what kind of semi
this
is
this
that?
makes this makes a new insurance group.
Yeah, there's a new insurance group just for the Fiat S76. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever.
Because it's more than double the displacement of most semis.
I think that actually is the largest displacement engine ever put in a car by an auto manufacturer.
No, I don't think so. I think they had a 30-something liter in some other pre-war car.
No, I think this is it.
pretty sure I
'Cause the
I
largest-
heard of something more.
The largest production engine was the Pierce Arrow, which had an 18-liter, which is still insane. But
This is bigger.
yes, this is. But I really think that and the Fiat Mephistopheles, which is named after a demon, that was almost half of this displacement.
So like an average semi-truck.
Yeah. So I think this actually might be the largest displacement ever.
That is
put
a
in.
lot of liters.
This is a massive amount. But anyway, going back to a car that a teenager would actually drive, this one actually does kind of fit that MO where it's simple and fun.
I guarantee that thing is not fun to drive.
Oh, I bet it's fun to drive.
I bet it isn't.
No, it's fun in the same way a roller coaster is fun. Because at any moment, if anything on that breaks, it will kill you.
I do not think that would be any fun to drive.
I think it'd be the same kind of fun as like a gutted out Civic would be, where it's like entirely unsafe.
I guess we will agree to disagree on this
I think
one.
that'd be a fun vehicle to
Okay,
drive.
Ryan, fine.
Sporty and fun are two different things. You get fun from having something exciting. All right, how about this? It'll be exciting to drive.
Yeah, oh, you will feel more alive driving that than you ever will at any other point in time.
And that's what that is. I think an exciting car is something that teenagers want. So something like a very, very basic car, like a Mirage, and you just put a 4-cylinder in it. Done. There you go. Anyway,
Apparently BMW made a 47-liter V12.
for what?
It was clearly an airplane engine that
Yeah.
they just put into a car. But I mean, I guess that kind of is too.
But that was
That was
actually...
probably the Brutus.
Yeah, it was probably the Brutus.
Oh yeah, that looks like the Brutus engine.
Yeah, so no valve covers?
Apparently they made one.
Oh.
Oh, whoa, dude, this has bevel drive cams.
Yeah, Crosley did that on a much smaller engine.
Yeah,
Like
I
a
guess.
0.7 liter.
Yeah, this looks like the Brutus engine.
Yeah, so, but I think as far as actual cars that have had the engine put in by their manufacturer, this would be the largest one.
I
'Cause
want to
Brutus
ride on
is-
a Zeppelin of the turn of the century.
Oh, it'd be wonderful until you hit a power line.
Yeah, I'll go on one that I know isn't going to crash.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Um,
and then I won't do it
Just
again.
never take one to New Jersey.
Yeah, you really don't.
That's our
And
top
then-
tip.
Yep.
That's our
And
Carbitrage
that's a
top tip.
perfect way to end this week's episode.
Yeah.
Never take a turn of the century Zeppelin to New Jersey.
There you go.
We will
Top
catch you
tip
guys
for
later.
everyone. Thank you.
Bye.